I'm one of 9 children. There's 11 including mum and dad. We moved to Manchester because they were pulling the houses down. We moved from Manchester because we were pulling the houses down. So we was offered a place at Manchester Airport or here. So when I was younger, my mum brought a group of us up to Gamesley to have a look, and I used to think it was great. I was 9 years old and we were getting on this bus, and I've never been on a bus before. We got on the bus and it was a long way, I felt, for a 9-year-old to come up. And then when we got here, we got up this big hill and we had to get off this bus. Oh, we got off at the bottom and then we had to go walk up this big hill. And then I kept saying to Mum, it's a long way this, I don't want to go, I want to go back home. So Mum and Dad said, no, you'll be all right, you'll be all right. Anyway, we eventually get here and there was nothing. It was just grass, you know, mud patches, there was cars, there was like trucks, you know, for building work, all bricks and cement and wood and parts of houses, there's toilets, there was all sorts. It was actually like a building a new estate. Because I'm one of 9 children, we used to have to share a bath, the big tin bath, and every Sunday it was great. They all had a bath and those big ones used to end up last. And it was freezing cold. So then when we get here, Dad said there's a bath as well. So we were dead excited, you know, all of us used to go home and tell all the rest. There's a bath, there's a toilet, there's a garden, there's loads of houses, there's somewhere where we can play. But it was still, it hadn't been finished. So yeah, we had a good time when we came up. But I remember just a little bit, we didn't have any shops. We used to have to travel to Glossop for shops. Did bakers on the corner. We used to make Brett Thompson's the bakers. There was no Morgan, there was no park, there was nothing. There wasn't even a shop or a pub. It was difficult because there wasn't a school on Gamesley then when I moved up. We had to travel to Glossop to go to school, you know, like all the shops and things. So it's pretty difficult for Mum really, you know, to drag us all to the shops because there were no buses then. We used to have to walk. We used to have one of them old prams, you know, with the big wheels, the coach prams. Mum used to have one of them and stick the baby in there and push us all to Glossop then. When you've lived round an area like Gamesley and you move off and all your close connections and your friends are there and the shops are there, and it was so different because I used to be down there on my own. It was dead quiet. You have to get the bus up to my mum's. I used to come up every day actually. She used to say, well, I don't know why you bothered living down there because you're always up here. And I used to push my 2 little lads. Well, they're 21 now, but I used to push them from Stalybridge in a double buggy just to come up, to get away, and then we moved back up here, and they've been happy ever since. We used to have to travel to Glossop, yeah, for prescriptions or the doctors. Now, they didn't used to have a doctor's on the estate either, or a dentist, anything like that. Used to travel all over to get to them. Years ago when I moved up, I had my brothers and sisters and friends around us that all moved up with us, so we had things to do. We entertained ourselves. But times have changed, like I said, society's changed, and there's not a lot to offer on here for the younger ones at the present. There's only the youth club, and like there's the football and that, but we could do with a little bit more for them, and it would keep them out of trouble. There isn't a nicer place to live actually. But if you think about you living in Manchester and you've got rows and rows of streets, you've got entries and things. But if you think about that and then come up here, you'll see a totally different world. You've got the environment, it's fresh, you've got the fresh air, you've got the fields, you've got a lot to offer on Gamesley really, which some people don't realise. You know, you hear a lot of expressions of putting Gamesley down all the time, but they want to come up here and live on here and mix with the people of Gamesley, and they'll realise that we're not what they think we are.